Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't subscribed as yet, please do so. And if you need somebody who needs a little bit of tricks and tips at home for cooking, invite them as well. Let them subscribe. So, as I said before, I love food. Husband loves food. We're food people. We're chefs, and I'm a pastry chef as well. And we love this burger called the Buffalo Wingman Burger at T.G.I Fridays. But instead of paying for it, of course, why not make it at home and in a healthier fashion? Instead of frying the wings, we're going to bake them today, and we're going to bake the fries today also. So these are my fries, roughly chopped up. There's 4 potatoes that I cut up, 2 small, 2 medium. And I'd like to put a little bit of oil and herbs, only thyme, as well as paprika, salt, and regular ground black pepper. And then over here, I keep the wings plain and simple because there's a lot of flavors in this burger and we don't want to complicate it any further. So it's also just paprika, salt, and pepper. And it's defrosted completely. You can use fresh wings. Once again, if you cannot, frozen is fine. Nobody's judging you. You'll be okay. So once again, just paprika, salt, and ground black pepper, a little bit of oil. And if you're using frozen, make sure you defrost them completely, as well as pat them dry so that the skin won't have that residual water when you put it into the oven, and you can get that nice crispy skin as if you were frying them without all the grease. So I'm going to put these in and we're going to get started on the burger meat. Yay. I just want to show you guys really quickly before the burger meat. So if you want to put the fries at the top, that's fine, but it's better to put the chicken at the top, especially for the direct heat. If you're like me with an electric oven, this is a Samsung electric oven, so the heat is better at the top. Even though the heat does circulate, it is better for the skin to get crispier if you put the meat at the top. And afterwards, you can crisp up the fries by placing it at the top when the chicken is done. Okay, guys, so here we have the ground beef. I have free-formed them into 5 individual patties. Wish I could have gotten 6, but it's 5. That means my husband and I are going to fight over the last burger later, but that's okay. And it's just complete ground beef. Is a little bit of paprika, ground black pepper, salt, and a secret ingredient that I'm just not going to tell you. You can use whatever you want. You can use herbs. You can use just salt and pepper. Worcestershire is a really good ingredient to put in here, but if you use that, hold back on your salt a little bit because Worcestershire is pretty salty on its own. So you can flavor it as you want, but like I said, this burger has a lot of flavors, so especially with the toppings. We're gonna get topping happy later, so there's no need to really make the meat be pungent. If you wanted, you could use Cajun seasoning. That's really good, but be careful which brand you buy because some Cajun seasoning is extremely salty, and even if you use a little bit, can ruin the meat. So I'm going to put this on my flat top now. I want to show you guys something really cool. This is my new oven. As you can see, I have some pumpkin. That pumpkin is going to turn into a pumpkin pie later. That'll be fun. I'll take a video of that for you guys too. But it's a Samsung. It's an electric oven and stove. I will show you guys a more detailed video because I have some pros and cons about this oven. And really, a chef is only as good as his hands and his tools. And your oven is the biggest tool you can have. So it would be really fun to show you guys the full in and outs of this oven. And there's some really good things about it, some really bad things. But what I really like is, I'm just going to pan over to my beef while I turn this on. As you can see, it says fast boil. Within the circle is where the heat goes. I just turned it on and look at that. It's already hot. And when I say it's hot, I mean it's piping hot. I mean I can't keep my hand on that for too long. So I'm going to take my Tefal. I love this cookware set and it's very inexpensive, but it's great for all purposes. I just washed it off because I'm a little OCD. I like things clean. So I'm going to let that heat. Look at that. See? Full heat already. It's crazy. It cooks me sometimes. Not the meat. But we're going to cook the meat. And I'm just going to let this get hot, which is going to take less than a minute. I'm gonna add a little oil and get the burgers on, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so the oil is in the pan, it's hot. One thing you really got to be careful when you are cooking, make sure that the pan is the correct size. So I have a smaller burner in the back. I would never put this pan on that burner. You want even heat. You want the heat to be distributed everywhere from all four corners. I would never get that from that small burner in the back. That would never work. So make sure if you have a big pan, then you have the big burner. Yes, I know, it's boiling, burning hot. And if you have a small pan, then you could definitely use a small burner in the back. So I wanted you guys to see what point I put these burgers on. My pan was hot and it still had water. So be very careful. Putting oil and water never works well together. So that's why it's popping right now. But that's okay, I'm used to it. I just want to show you guys and let you guys hear. That's what you want to hear when you put your burger on. This is beef. You want the beef to sear outside very hard. That caramelization from the searing is what's going to seal in the flavors. So if you don't hear that beautiful sizzle, then your beef is going to be gray. You don't want gray beef. You don't want gray burgers. You want a beautiful caramelization on the outside. And I have perfect space for all 5 of my buns and burgers. Not buns, but the burgers. The buns will come later though. And we're going to sear the buns off as well. So that sizzle is what you want to hear. You want to get the caramelization going. You don't need a lot of oil. I don't have a lot of oil in the pan because beef releases oil. So it's going to continue to add to the oil in the pan. And you can always save that oil. When I fry the fries for this meal, I take the beef oil and I add it into regular canola oil. And I fry the fries in that. It gives it a different flavor. It's actually really cool. If you don't want to save the oil and do it the healthy way, the way we're doing it, let the oil cool. Put it in a recycling container. Don't throw it down your sink or your toilet because that will cause a lot of damage to your sewage line. It's bad, people. It's bad. Don't do it. Okay, I'm going to let these burgers cook. I'm going to have it on high for searing. And I'm going to sear them on this side for the most part. Flip it over, lower my heat, and let them cook all the way through. I'll be right back. Don't forget anything that you have in the oven. We're just getting a good check in here. The fries are cooking. I want them to be done on the inside. So it's better that they're at the bottom without browning too much on the outside because we will brown them afterwards. And the chicken is looking good as well. Our burgers are cooking. See all that fat? That's all the fat being released from the beef itself. That's why I said you don't need to add a lot of oil. Just so that it doesn't stick the first time around. And so over here, in this little saucepan, I have a little pat of butter, a tablespoon of butter, and the buffalo sauce. I'm heating it up, and this will be used to toss the wings in when they're done roasting off. So we're just going to let that continue to go. Let the butter melt, and then we're going to set it off to the side and let it cool down a little bit. Here we are. These are our lovely toppings. We've got our tomatoes, nice and red. Our beautiful red onions, my favorite. Green lettuce. Our buns. Ooh, bun time. And we're going to take these buns and caramelize them just now. So here are the burgers. As you can see, they're turning a nice brown. Got the nice caramelization on top. The fat is still releasing. I have moved it off the flame. Flame is off. It is now using the residual heat in the pan and cooking up the rest of the way. So we're cooking ours all the way until it's well done. Juicy, but not overcooked. Well done doesn't mean black into a crisp. It means fully cooked through the center with juices still able to run out of it when you bite in there. Okay, the sauce is also there. That's done. So we're almost there. Okay, here are the buns. We're toasting them right now. Depending on how hot your stovetop is, It could go as quickly as 30 seconds on high heat for both sides to a minute on both sides. So here's the sauce. The main ingredient is buffalo sauce, of course. But there's also blue cheese crumble in there, a little bit of relish, mayo, mustard, and if you want to make it sweet, you could add a little bit of honey. If you want, you can use a honey mustard, but it's better to use the honey separate from the mustard so you can gauge how much acid you want and how much sweet you want. Or if you don't want it to be sweet at all, you don't need to use any honey or any honey mustard. Here we have our fries. They're done. They're out. They're looking good. They're all nicely roasted and crispy. Yum. Can't wait to eat. And there are the buns. They're all nice and toasted. With our toppings, our condiment, and our sides. We're almost there. Just waiting on the chicken. The chicken wings are out of the oven. All nice and roasted. The skin is cooked. If you want them a little more cooked, you can leave them in at a higher temperature, 425 to 450, depending on your oven. If your oven runs really hot, don't put it at 400. You'll burn. If your oven runs regular, 400 is good, 425 is good. I'm going to toss them in the sauce, and then we're going to assemble the burgers. Okay, guys, let's get to assembling. I'm going to put on my burgers first. If I move a little quick, that's just because I'm just moving quick. I'm going to take my sauce. Give it a nice, generous, heaping amount of sauce. My husband loves tomatoes. I don't, so his is getting tomatoes. Red onion. Just move this up so you guys can see it better. Tomatoes. Some red onion. She's a stacker. And the lettuce. Press her down a little bit. As you can see, she's really a stacker. We're just gonna press her down, scrunching up my also lovely top of my bread a little bit, but that's okay. She's almost there, almost picture perfect. There she goes. And we're just gonna take 2 buffalo wings. Yes, I am crazy. Yes, I am. And put her right on top. And there she is. The buffalo. I like that. My husband just called it the Empire Burger. So here you have it, guys. Nice, crispy, oven roasted fries. And as my husband calls it, the Empire Buffalo Burger. From top to bottom. Let me guys know what you want me to make next. And I hope you try this at home and enjoy. See you next time. And don't forget to subscribe. Bye guys.